Everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Well, it's good. Kristi, of course, is on the road because it's Wednesday, and she did the fair today that we normally do. I stayed home not feeling very good, so she's doing the heavy lifting today.
I guess. I mean, I'm just driving and talking, which is what I do a lot of anyway.
This is true. Well, we had such an unexpected morning.
Oh my gosh. What the hell?
My gosh, I was just climbing in the shower, and my phone notified me that Judge Boyce was live, and I'm like, what the hell? So I run to my computer. There's a status conference. I got us live as fast as I could. I think we only missed the first couple of minutes, but I can't find anybody else. I don't think anyone else streamed it. To compare our notes against it. I can't see it anywhere.
And, I don't think we missed much from what I could tell.
No, when we started, they were discussing the fact that they didn't have a clerk. Anyway, they were talking court matters when we started, so I think we were okay. But so that was a big surprise to literally everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll break it down today, but that was
good job catching it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Gosh. And so I was glad we did. It is interesting stuff, and we're going to talk about it, more in depth. But that's kind of how today started.
Yes, it is. I know. And then it was like, oh my God, now we're all discombobulated. But at least we got it, and we got it streamed because it looks like no one else did.
Well, and no, I can't find it anywhere else. And they deleted it as soon as the hearing was over. They deleted it from YouTube. So we had a very short window. I went back a few minutes later to download it to see if there was anything in the beginning that we missed that was important, and it was gone.
Yeah.
In no time.
Yeah, this was in and out like a flash. Seems like they're up to their sneaky bullshit.
Well, yeah, entirely, because I also reached out to Fremont County for a copy of the filing that we're discussing. And they told me all of the appellate stuff is sealed at this point. So we can't even get it. It's a 250-page brief, and we wanted it, and it is sealed. That might be the rule. I don't know.
I don't know, but for what purpose? I mean, there's no jury anymore. Like, what? This is going to go before the state Supreme Court. So what is the purpose of sealing it now? Sneaky bullshit.
It kind of feels that way. So anyway, should we just jump right in with what we know? What we've learned?
Let's do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, as you know, there's 2 new attorneys on board. And one gone, obviously. Mr. Pryor is, of course, no longer on the case, and we have the 2 state-appointed appellate attorneys on the job. So I'm going to introduce you guys to them, and then we'll keep moving. So this is Garth McCarty, sorry. Garth McCarty, he is, when we view court, he is sitting kind of back behind. He doesn't really talk. He mostly listening and nodding, but this is Garth McCarty. Garth McCarty is a part of, well, let me give you his CV a little bit here. He attended Colorado Northwestern Community College and the University of Washington School of Law is where he got his law degree in 2000. He has worked in the lead counsel capital litigation unit for the state appellate public defender's office since 2019. He owned a law firm in Glenwood Springs, Colorado for 14 years, McCarty Law Firm. And before that, actually, that's all he has on his LinkedIn. So that's what we know about Garth. I will tell you that Garth was a part of he is a part of the appeals for trying to stop Thomas Creech's execution.
Oh, okay.
One of the Creech attorneys.
Interesting. Okay.
And then the other attorney, this is Ian Thompson, and he is the guy. This is a little younger picture of him. I think it's from his LinkedIn. Ian is
Mm.
the attorney that does most of the speaking in this action. Let's see. Good Lord. Okay.
Wiggle your cord a little bit.
Okay. Is that better?
A little bit. It's still cutting just a bit, but.
Oh, maybe. Hopefully that's on your end. I did
Oh,
get a new
that's better
headset
now.
ordered. Okay.
That's better now.
Okay. There is a new headset en route. It's just not here yet. Okay. So Ian Thompson studied at the University of Chicago, as well as got his JD from BYU Law in 2003.
Oh, BYU.
Actually, in researching him today, I found a podcast that he did a few years ago that he was the guest speaker on, I believe, talking about the downfalls of excommunication in the Mormon Church, which is kind of interesting. I didn't listen to it, so I can't tell you his position, but it was a little weird to see somebody associated with this case doing podcasts about the Mormon Church.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
Ian, but that's a little eerie, okay? It's not your fault, but it's a little eerie.
It is.
All right. Let's see. Let's go through some of his CV here. He was a defender, he was an assistant defender in Philadelphia for 6 years. Then he's been a part of the lead attorney on the capital litigation unit since 2016. He was a trial attorney, a public defender in Boise from 2015 to 2016. He was the executive director of the Idaho State Public Defense Commission from 2014 to 2015. And he was a lead attorney in the capital litigation unit from July 10th as an appellate public defender from July 2010 to September 2014. So he's been working, basically he's been working as a public defender or an appellate defender in Idaho since 2010.
Okay. Well, good. Very experienced.
Yeah, between the two of them, they have quite a lot of experience. So what are we talking about here? Well, we don't know exactly. Basically, they had filed a 250-ish page brief of appeal. And some of the things that they are appealing, he's going to tell us actually in a couple of the video clips. But there's some challenges. This is what's on Chad's docket. So on 7/18, they filed a petition for post-conviction relief. So they're talking about relief from the death penalty. So this is what we're discussing currently.
Yeah.
Also on 7/18, there was a notice, need to file amended petition for additional time. So here's the thing. They filed a petition, but they actually want more time to file their final petition. So this was we have to file this in a timely manner because of what the state laws are, but this isn't our final draft, essentially.
Right.
But there was also some kind of a problem. The Odyssey envelope and rejected submission information comment here on Chad's docket, that has to do with the state filing system and the way they pass information back and forth, the way they file things.
Okay.
And so they're secure to the case, so only the people can get into them that, are allowed to. But for whatever reason, it looks like maybe they had a problem with their filing and it was denied. We've seen this happen in other cases too. So it's not that big of a deal. But then also on the 18th, there was an unopposed motion to backdate initial petition for post-conviction relief and accompanying notice. Basically saying, hey, we want the date that we tried to file this to be the date that it actually officially is filed. And then there was a memorandum in support, which probably means that the state said, yeah, we're cool with that. That's fine with us.
Sure.
So let me pull this banner down. So then on the 19th, a corrected memorandum in support of unopposed motion to backdate additional petition for post-conviction relief and accompanying notice with attachment. So again, saying, okay, we're allowing this. This is, we're backdating this. This is all
Yeah.
procedural stuff, but it's very important procedural stuff.
It's all got to be done correctly. It matters a lot.
So then on 7/23, there was an order granting unopposed motion to backdate petition. Again, still on the same conversation. Then apparently on 8/2, there was a notice of remote hearing. None of this is coming out on the state site anymore. So I think most people missed this because it wasn't being published where we are used to receiving information on this case.
Yeah.
And then on 8/7, which of course is today, was the hearing that started at 10 a.m. So those are the things that have been filed thus far that we know about. But again, I tried to get that post-conviction relief filing that's 250 some pages long, and I was told that it's sealed. So we're not going to be able to access that.
Sure.
So with all of those things being said, let's watch a couple of things. The first clip, this is 8 minutes long, but I think it's important for multiple reasons. This is Ian Thompson. The judge has just given him the floor to talk about the timing. So what's happening is that they have 90 days, essentially, per state law to process and rule on this filing.
Right.
But these guys are saying, hey, we filed this, but it's not really our final. We want to file something else down the road. So, the state has to also respond within a certain timeline, and they're telling the state, don't even respond because this isn't even our final brief, so don't even bother with it. And Lindsay Blake's like, well, so that's the law, so I have to.
Right. She was like, we have rules too, remember?
So essentially, in order for them, because this is a part of the appellate process, in order for them to get an extension on this, they will have to get permission. Judge Boyce will have to get permission from the Supreme Court.
Right.
But they tell Boyce in this hearing, it's a part we're not going to hear today, but they tell him that that's really normal. Boyce has never had to do this before. So he's like, I don't know. They tell Boyce the last one that they filed came back in 1 day. So they're not worried. They're like, oh, no, we're going to put this out. We've got all this stuff to find out and read and see, and we don't know anything. And so we've got all the time in the world, and we have Judge Boyce and the state going, no, we don't. We're not even close to having all the time in the world. We have all this shit we have to do, and we have 90 days. And these guys are like, bah. But that's because they have 5 capital cases open currently. I mean, they have a ton on their plate, and they're seeing the Supreme Court allowing these extensions to happen, pretty long ones, and so they're not that worried.
No.
So, but in this, you're going to get a taste of Ian Thompson, as well as kind of it's a good look into what their job is, what they're doing. But also pay attention to the looks on the faces of the other 3, because they're over these 2 and they haven't even started yet.
They are. Ian Thompson also got a bit of a smackdown from Judge Boyce, which I thought was pretty hilarious.
That's
getting a little taste of Boyce.
That's my first clip. So let's go ahead and just go for it, and we'll come back in 8 minutes.
Okay.
For a minute and sort of lay out what is going on our end. I wanted to reiterate, obviously this is not lost on anyone in the room, but we come into this case, the only ones in the room that aren't intimately familiar with this case, and we're representing Mr. Daybell as new counsel. And that's separate counsel from trial counsel, as is sort of set forth in Criminal Rule 44.2 and 44.3. So everyone in this room, other than our office, has been living and breathing this case for over 3 years, at least since the indictment. And we have an incredible amount of work to do from our perspective, just to get up to speed, just to catch up to where the county council or the state's council is at today. So I wanted to just briefly fill you in on where we're at in anticipation of sort of asking for that extension as contemplated in 1927, 1908. We do believe it's impossible to get this done on that timeline. And we're happy to file a motion to that effect if necessary. So this is an unprecedented case for our office. We've never seen anything this size before. Mr. McCarty and I also have 6 other open capital cases currently, and we still have an attorney vacancy in our unit. What we received on the date of our filing from Fremont County is 6,592 pages of transcripts and 10,246 pages of record. All of the trial exhibits that were able to be sent via flash drive, less any of the physical evidence. And that's just in Mr. Daybell's case. That's to say nothing of Lori Vallow Daybell's case from 2023, which we believe is incumbent on us to obtain at some point, since Mr. Pryor was privy to that entire proceeding. So as successor counsel, we have also attempted to obtain our client's file. We've received approximately 14 terabytes of digital materials from Mr. Pryor. We didn't even originally have the server space for a file of this size in our office. We've been told that it is the unexpanded size of the zipped files, and that is likely to increase as we expand the unzipped files in order to access them. And so for those of us who are somewhat unfamiliar or operate in this new realm of terabytes, I've been converting that, and it's the equivalent of 20,000 compact discs that were delivered to our office. So we are having to completely reinvent our processing and indexing procedures due to the volume of the material we've received in this case. We're in the process of contracting with outside tech firms or imaging firms in order to process, download, expand, index, and make readable much of the information that we've received from prior counsel. That being said, I can also share with your honor how we have approached the State Appellate Public Defender these cases in the past. We would normally, when we obtained this case, we didn't even have the record until after we filed that initial petition, either the record or the transcript. We were unable to observe or attend any of those proceedings. And so other than nominal, I guess, media reports, we were largely unfamiliar with any details of the case. We would normally read the record and transcript in a case upon receiving it, and then file an amended petition, as we've indicated with our notice, with our identified claims, and that would be filed from a more informed, better educated position. In the meantime, as we work through all of those materials, we're collecting as much information as we can and conducting our own investigation. We do not believe at this point that hardly any mitigation work was done by Mr. Pryor. And so we will largely be starting from scratch. In a normal case, we would sort of be piggybacking on what trial counsel had already accomplished. But understanding that this, once if we are granted the opportunity to file an amended petition, understanding that this discovery is discretionary in this case, in these cases, we've then made our motions for discovery orders, subpoenas, ducis tecum, depositions, and interrogatories. And then once that occurs, if any of those are granted, we have then asked to be allowed to file a final amended petition aggregating all of that information into a petition with all of the admissible evidence that we would want considered along with those claims that we've identified, along with the information that we've been able to uncover in our own investigations. So we also usually withdraw several claims that our investigations have not borne out at that point. In the past, in other cases, we have waived the state's requirement to file any dispositive motions on the original petition after the amended petition, and instead suggested that the state not file a motion for summary dismissal until after the final amended petition has been completed and submitted with all of our attached materials. At that time, then the case proceeds like a typical post-conviction, with your honor ruling on motions to dismiss, ordering evidentiary hearings, etc. In short, as of today, We still do not even know what we do not know in this case. Consequently, what I would be asking for, Your Honor, and I know this is a big ask based on what Your Honor has already set out, we would be asking to set out yet another status conference 90 days from now in order to return in early November and let Your Honor know exactly where we are at once we have a better sense of what we are dealing with, just with the sheer volume of the case. As we read 1927, 19:7, and 8, in the past, we have largely relied in every case that I've handled since 2010 on subsection 8 and showing those extraordinary circumstances that allow for the time to be extended with the Supreme Court's permission in the event that it would make it impossible to fairly consider defendants' claims in the time provided. Our position is that we will not, we filed a petition literally without knowing anything about the case, nothing about the case. And
well, you knew enough to file a 254-page petition, so I don't know how you can say you knew literally nothing about the case if you put 254 pages together. And substantively, I mean, it's, you know, something about it. I think there's 48 pages of substantive arguments, so I don't know that I would say you literally know nothing about the case. I don't know otherwise how you submitted that petition.
Fair enough. That is fair. I mean, we've outlined in our notice for need to file an amended petition what we were able to scramble and do in those original 6 weeks. We certainly have not.
Welcome back, Judge Boyce. Good to see you.
Yeah. That would be Mr. Thompson's first Judge Boyce smackdown. I love it. He can take
We know literally
only
nothing
so
about
much.
this case. Zero things. We did not waste all of your time with 250 pages of straight up drivel because we know zero things about this case. Okay. The way he proudly was like, we don't know anything about this case. Nothing at all. And the judge and the judge and Wood both are like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is a huge filing for not knowing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and just the bitching about the size. And I mean, is John
All
Pryor,
the
is that you?
scenes. Yeah.
Yes. And we don't even have a hard drive big enough. And, you know, I mean, look at who you're looking at. You're looking at the prosecutors of this case.
Mhm.
Of course, they fucking know that. So does the judge. Why do you have to keep bitching? It's funny.
That one got me. I laughed out loud. I'm like, oh, well,
Yeah.
good morning, Judge Boyce.
Mhm.
So here's another little piece. The one thing I wanted you to hear there, and I hope you caught, was they said it does not appear to them that Mr. Pryor did much, if any, mitigation. So what does that mean? Because Pryor was prepared with what we thought was a bunch of mitigation. So does that mean they just haven't found it yet? Or does that
Right.
mean that's true and he really wasn't ready with much mitigation, and that's actually what was the reality?
Right. We really just don't know.
We don't know. But this is much shorter. This is like 40 seconds, but listen to this piece.
For need to file an amended petition, what we were able to scramble and do in those original 6 weeks. We certainly have not to date read the trial. So we're in the position of filing claims about ineffective assistance of counsel without having either watched or read the trial. I guess that's what I mean by know nothing about that record. I will note that the sealed record comprised about 60% of the
Ineffective assistance of counsel, lack of mitigation. Those are two of the big things that they are arguing. That's all we know because it's all sealed. But thankfully, thanks to him for spilling a couple of crumbs about what's actually in their filing, which shouldn't surprise anybody. But
No, not at all. This is exactly where they would go. And it's been expected forever that they would go this place. But Judge Boyce has worked very, very hard to protect this case
Yeah.
from having any legitimate claim. So just because they're filing it does not mean they're going to get it.
Oh no, of course not. Yeah. Of course not. But yeah, it looks like that's kind of where they are. This is exactly what John Pryor told us would happen.
It is, yes.
So it's no surprise. It's no surprise to John. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure he's, this is exactly what he expected too. So, this is appeal fodder. But that was kind of an interesting day. So what they determined finally is that they are going to talk to the Supreme Court and try to get an extension. They'll get that. That's not going to be that big of a deal. At one point in this hearing, they did say that they had an extension, or they have another appellate capital case that they were arguing that they didn't get their final brief turned in until 1 year and 3 months after it
Yeah.
was initially due. They said
This is going to, I bet this takes 5 years.
yeah, they
easily.
said this could stretch on for a good long time. And again, they're telling the state, like, don't even waste your time responding because this is all going to change. Let's not waste your time. Let's just not, and of
Right.
course the state's like, yeah, you don't tell us what to do. And
Right.
we're not going to break the rules. We're going to wait to hear from the Supreme Court. So that's their plan. In the meantime, the judge said, well, we have to meet again then and discuss all of this. So he also told them that forthwith here will, I don't know, that these will be in-person hearings in Fremont County Courthouse. So the next
Yeah.
hearing is on the 28th of August, which is just, a couple weeks away. And that will be at 10 a.m. in the Fremont County Courthouse. We'll attend that one live. It won't be streamed.
Mhm.
We'll just attend that one live. They also have to determine which of these hearings Mr. Daybell has to be present for and Zoom him in as well. So those are all things that they're working on.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit of talk about that he's waiving his right to be present. Like they're not
Yeah.
physically, like they're not going to be bringing him from Boise over to Fremont County. They'll just put him on a Zoom call.
Yeah. Yes, heretofore. Thanks, Jess. Yeah. Surprised the word voluminous didn't come up, right? I mean, he said everything but voluminous.
He did. He hasn't been on this case long enough to know that the word is voluminous.
Mm-hmm. He's not been bitten by the bug yet.
Not yet, but it's coming. But yeah, the really way too much explaining about how big all the discovery is in this case was really funny. Like looking at the three people you're talking to, like, really, dude? You actually thought you had to say all that stuff? And I don't know, we're all supposed to feel sorry for you because you're gonna have to get a new server, and no one feels sorry for you, man. This is your job, and these people have all been dealing with this. And when he says 3 years, hilarious. It's definitely a little over 4.
Yeah,
that all of those folks have been.
But honey, he's really
I guess not Boyce, but the prosecutors. Yeah, and that the explaining that they're new on the case, it just came across as whiny.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you could say all that without it, I don't know, sounding so whiny, but it sure sounded John Pryor-y.
Yeah, it did. It did.
If I had been home and could have, I probably would have got out my clutch and pearls. Does Ian Thompson need, am I going to resurrect John Pryor's clutch and pearls?
I think you just may. Yeah.
I might.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
I think so. Well, that's what I've got on the Daybell sitch. So we'll just keep an eye on it. We'll plan on attending court on the 28th.
That is wild. It's going to be really interesting. I am very curious.
Yeah, same team, same judge for Lori. Well, with the exception of Rachel Smith.
Yes.
Yeah. Or are you talking about the appellate attorneys, Jess?
Because it's not the same.
It's not the same appellate attorneys.
But I don't know why they think they have to watch Lori's trial. Because all of Lori's trial was in Chad's trial, and then there was the Tammy stuff in Chad's trial. Really, Chad's trial encompasses the whole thing.
They did throw a little shade at Pryor. Yeah, they did.
Oh, they did. Well,
Mhm.
it's got to be somebody else's fault and not theirs.
Yeah.
Very interesting. We have a little bit of a Tim Ballard update, and this is rather interesting. So, y'all, we haven't talked about him in a while because, well, we haven't. He's the former head of Operation Underground Railroad, the sex trafficking organization from Utah that's been basically crashed and burned. Tim has crashed and burned. He's now charged, or not charged, accused of several sexual assaults as well as some fraud. And there's a lot going on with him. Now, one of the things that's going on is that there is a sexual assault claim against him in which there is a piece of evidence against him that is the victim's skirt, and it does for sure have his DNA on it. The DNA has matched to him. It is his semen, blah blah blah. Okay. So, and this is Celeste Boris, who was his assistant, I believe. So, we know that DNA match has occurred. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now, and I've got to go track a lot of it down. Because there's a lot of things going on between him and Glenn Beck.
Oh.
So something that Tim Ballard has been doing as of late is going on social media, like on podcasts, and saying, no shit, straight-faced, that Glenn Beck planted Tim Ballard's DNA on the victim's skirt.
What?
No shit. I have many questions. First of which is, hey, Tim, why does Glenn Beck have your semen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is. But there's a huge.
That's a great question. Yes.
There's a huge there's a huge meltdown happening right now. Because see, Tim Ballard and Glenn Beck were friends. They both had anti-trafficking organizations and organizations that helped. Glenn Beck's organization particularly helps Christians who are being persecuted. So I don't know who that is, but anyway. And there was money exchanged between the two organizations. I mean, they're wrapped up pretty tight together, and they were also wrapped up with M. Russell Ballard, the Mormon General Authority, who passed away, who was a part of this, kind of in some way too. So things are getting ugly. But yeah, that is an allegation that Ballard has made. So, what? Yeah.
Well, wowza.
Yeah.
The girls are fighting. Whew.
The girls are fighting. Yeah, very much so. So there will be a bigger update on that here soon. I just found that today, and so I have to go back and do some more research. But I was like, that is quite an allegation,
It
Mr.
really
Ballard.
is. Mhm.
And it does bring up a lot of questions. So anyway,
Owls no longer. Okay, then.
no, the gloves are off between these two apparently. How about Jess says, why do I feel like money, sex, and power describes all the men in the Mormon church? You are not wrong,
indeed?
Jess. Why would it be? Not wrong, not wrong. So I'm going to do some research and do a bigger update, but I just knew you all would get a pretty good kick out of that one. Katie, what's up with Donna Adelson?
Oh, Lordy McLorderson. Well, she's been back in court. This is, of course, everybody's least favorite fancy white lady, Donna Adelson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, she is being tried for her role in the murder of her former son-in-law. Look at that darling face, Donna. My goodness. Really
I know.
on the Ritz.
I saw that picture online and I was like, wow, that is a wildly unflattering picture of her.
Well, guys, she's supposed to be tried in the same courtroom where her son was, Charlie, where he was convicted.
Uh-huh.
And they don't like that. So they're filing for a change of courtroom. Not change of courthouse or anything.
Just change of courtroom?
Mm-hmm. They are supposed
Wow.
to be in courtroom 3G, and they would like to be moved to courtroom 3B. Her attorney said, "We have a variety of reasons why we think that courtroom will afford our client better due process than this courtroom." That's all. That's
I didn't know courtrooms
Why?
could provide due process
apparently they can.
as inanimate objects.
Mhm. It's hard to say.
Ina says, prison doesn't look good on old Donna. No, it
Mhm.
doesn't. Oh my goodness. She actually looks a little bit like she might be missing her teeth. I don't know if that's the case, but
She kind of does.
that is just my opinion and not proof in any way.
Mm-hmm.
No one freak out.
So this is it was a pre-trial hearing because, her trial is supposed to start on September 17th. So it's coming right up.
It's coming right up.
So also they set a deadline for some witness and exhibit lists, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, can't see her going down in the same courtroom, bro. It's not okay.
That's really weird. I
Mhm.
mean, does she think that the jury would even know? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, why would the jury even know it was the same courtroom? How would they even know?
Oh, interesting. Fran said the courtroom they want is much smaller. She thinks they're trying to cut back on media and public attendance.
That's what's
Okay.
actually happening here. Okay,
Mhm.
that makes much more sense to me that they're using
Mhm.
that, because that doesn't even, the jury is not going to know what courtroom or even care.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep the public out.
Mhm.
You can't keep us out, Donna. Can't keep us out.
Paula said, "She's really not going for that sweet little old lady look, is she?"
No, she is not.
She looks more like a frightening old bog witch.
She really, yeah, it's not good. But, she's a little like Lori Vallow. She's lost
Mhm.
access to all of her fancy white lady stuff. And,
Mhm.
well, it's showing right now. It is definitely showing.
Mhm. If you're wondering why we keep making that reference, it's because right after she was arrested, they had filed a demand for her to get bail and be able to go home because she was not being treated well here and she didn't like jail. And one of the bailiffs even said to her, "This isn't fancy white lady jail." That was a part of their filing. And we've been
Yeah.
laughing about it ever since. So,
Yeah, because it was pretty clear that is what she was expecting to get.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what's up with Justin Mohn. You may remember this guy. This is Justin Mohn. Justin Mohn is the guy from Pennsylvania who is charged with the murder of his father. He's the guy that decapitated his dad and then put it on YouTube. If y'all remember this.
Yeah.
This was just a brutal case. Well, it is grinding its way through the system as he is headed toward trial.
Mhm.
And if you can believe this, the judge, Judge Stephen Core, has ruled that Justin Mohn is competent to stand trial on the charges of first-degree murder, abuse of a corpse, and possession of an instrument of crime.
Whew. Wow.
I gotta say, I am surprised
Mhm.
that they have found him competent. I find it kind of scary. And I know and I don't know exactly what Pennsylvania's requirements are. I mean, Idaho's are very, very minimal, and maybe they are there too.
Mhm.
So there was a psychologist that was brought in by Mohn's attorney who said that the stuff that he did, the religious rhetoric that he had that he was sharing when he showed his father's head on YouTube
Mhm.
was signs of a delusional disorder, which,
Mhm.
yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
You remember he said his father's now in hell for eternity, and,
Mhm.
he said some really terrible things.
Yeah.
Um, so the judge actually questioned Justin Mohn at the beginning of the proceedings about whether he knew why he was in court, and he could say his charges back to the judge,
Mhm.
and that made him fit to stand trial. So I don't know, man. So he understands why he's there. In Idaho, you also have to be able to participate in your own defense.
Yeah.
But basically, the judge said, the prosecutor said, well, he can state his charges. He knows why he's here, so he can stand trial. I don't know, man. I don't
Yikes.
know.
That's a
So
really hard
anyway,
one.
we'll be keeping an eye on that as it grinds toward trial. I'm shocked, honestly. I am shocked that it has been found competent. That was
I am
such
too.
a hideous situation, and
Mhm.
definitely not a situation that I would have expected that to be considered competency. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
see.
Wowza.
Yeah, Katie. Well, let's talk about Doerman. We know we have to.
Let's do. So Chad Doerman has pled guilty. So they dropped a few of the charges in exchange for pleading guilty. They dropped the death penalty as well. And so Chad Doerman is going to be in prison for the rest of his life for the murder of his children.
Yeah.
And I want to share a few things from that we've learned since. This is a statement from his former wife and the mother of the children that he murdered, his 3 little boys. She said, I am in full agreement with how the criminal case was resolved, and the decision to end this criminal case with a plea and multiple life sentences brings some finality to the court case for my daughter and me. No punishment will ever bring my boys back. Having a guarantee that he will spend the rest of his life behind bars is what is best for my family. Remember them as 3 little boys who loved fishing, go-karting, and swimming. Remember them as the boys who loved to have fun and were inseparable from one another. Their lives are not only about what happened to them, they are so much more than that. I love you, Clayton.
Clayton, Hunter, and Chase. I don't know what happened to Katie, but she disappeared. Oh, she's back. I finished reading it for you.
No, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, but here's a few things that we know now. Here's some things that were said. Apparently, when he came home from work that day, he told his wife, Laura, that this will be my last good meal,
Hmm.
which was weird to her, but then he acted okay. She said between 1 and 3:30, he spent the afternoon doing yard work, playing with the kids, nothing out of the ordinary. There was nothing to alert Laura that she needed to do something to protect the family. At
Sure.
3:30 or 3:45, he began to read the Bible to Hunter. He was walking around the house with the Bible, mumbling, Chad knows what's right. Chad knows what's right.
Oh.
When he
What?
opened the gun safe at 4, Laura said, You are scaring me. And he told her, I'm just playing around. Around 4, though, he and Laura and all the kids went to the master bedroom. She's starting to worry that something's going on. So they kind of lay down to take a nap. Suddenly after laying down, he jumps up, grabs the 22 from the safe, and terror fills the room. Laura is screaming. The boys are screaming. They are all trying to discourage him, telling him that they love him and begging him not to kill himself. Laura gets out the phone to call 911. He grabs the phone, throws it across the room, and tells her it's too late. He points the rifle at Hunter and shoots him multiple times. Then he shoots the other 2 boys. Laura also was shot in the hand in her attempt to stop him. And of course, her daughter ran outside screaming and ran to the neighbors who helped get the police there. But that's what the afternoon looked like the day that Chad Doerman killed his children. So it's over. It's over for Mom. She can in some way start trying to put some kind of a life back together and start down a path of healing, because he's now going to be in prison forever. And that's that.
Well, and I'm glad for the family that they're okay with this
Mm-hmm.
and that they just want this to be over.
Yep.
A trial and waiting, zillions of appeals on death penalty and all that stuff. It would just keep it all traumatizing them.
Yep.
I think sometimes we have to remember that when you fight for something like the death penalty for somebody, it means that the victims, they never get a break.
Yep.
In this way they do.
For sure.
Wow. Awful. I hate that case.
Yeah.
I hate even talking about that case.
Me too.
A little bit of an update here. And Billy Wagner, he's looking not good.
That is
Not
some
good.
wild hair.
That is. This is the Pike County massacre, and Billy Wagner is headed to trial here pretty soon. He had court recently to meet his new judge. If you remember, they changed judges in this case. So he is in a holding cell in Butler County, in Waverly, in Pike County. Butler County in Waverly. Oh, to Waverly in Pike County. I'm sorry. He was moved there so that he can go. He could go to court and meet his new judge. So this case is getting ready to go to trial in early January. It is definitely one we will be doing. So his judge he's got a new judge that was appointed. And I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, yeah. It's Judge Jonathan Hine, who was appointed to this case by the Ohio Supreme Court, interestingly. So basically, they just had a hearing to introduce the new judge and just say, this is who I am. I'm your judge now, blah, blah, blah. And kind of how he expects things are going to happen between now and the trial date in January. And he said, I thought this was pretty good because this has drug on and drug on and drug on. And he said this to the attorneys. The assignment, if you will, is for the lawyers to tell me what needs to happen next and how fast. Does it need to be as long as the first trial? The answer is no. But how much less, we don't know. So interesting. Glad to see this is moving forward. This is the last trial in this case. The one previous to this was brutal and insanely long. And so I'm really hoping that they don't have to, it doesn't have to be so long and it doesn't have to be so drug out.
Yeah.
Because it was brutal. It was, what was it, like 12 weeks or something?
I'm not sure. It was long, though.
It was
really long.
It was longer than the Daybell trials, and it's pretty. And I mean, there are 9 victims, so I get that. But holy shit,
it was long, and I think it took the jury about 6 seconds.
Right. There, we don't know the date for the Billy Wagner trial yet. They just keep saying early January, so it's not actually set. But that is expected to. That'll be coming. They're going to be doing a lot of status update hearings and stuff between now and then, and they'll get that figured out. But I'm glad that this is going to finally be over for that community and for those families.
Yeah, for sure. Jesus. Awful.
Yeah. Oh, Ina says, he looks rough, but he still doesn't look as bad as Donna Adelson. I know. She looks real rough.
Truth. Sorry about it, Donna.
Sorry about it. So that is everything I have. Do you have anything else, Katie?
I'm surprised how quickly we made through because we had so much, but I think that's
Yeah.
it. Let me look at my list really quick, but
I think that's everything. I mean, yeah, I want more info on the Tim Ballard situation, and we'll definitely do an episode on it. But I'm just dying to know, like, what the hell's going on here with that. That is quite an allegation to make, that some other person planted your semen. I mean, come on, let's just get real here.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
right,
have anything
Amanda. Will
else.
Billy take the stand? I don't know, man. Why would he? There's nothing he can say that's gonna help him. The fact that he's even going to trial is so ridiculous. Yes, we do see that Nick Rossi does have some hearings at the end of the month. We'll be talking about those as they come up. Because there's a lot going on with him, because there's just some real dicey stuff going on with him around what evidence they are going to be able to present in that first trial. Because apparently there's a lot of crossover between that and some of the other cases. And there's concern about, I don't know, messing up cases coming after that one. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I mean, if it's true information, do we think that Utah will go through with the execution that is happening tonight? Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, that looks like a
Yeah,
go.
I was reading about it, looking into it. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever. Everything has been exhausted for that man. I don't think that they're going to stop.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since Utah had an execution, and it's going to be interesting to see if it is a successful one. These make me sick to even think about when they're happening.
Yeah. Looks like we're having a problem streaming on Facebook. Facebook is mad at us, apparently. They removed one of our videos this week for aligning with dangerous rhetoric or something.
What?
I have no idea what to say. So sorry
We
about
didn't
that.
talk about that, but let me bring it up really quick, and we can talk about it. The Utah execution. Sorry, we didn't have it on our list, but it is one that I read all about and am aware of, because it doesn't appear to me that he's got any hope of it not going through. So this is Tabaron Honey, and he is scheduled for death this evening. And the governor has already denied his request for temporary reprieve. And his attorneys have been asking for a temporary hold, but it's all been denied. So this is the first execution in Utah in 14 years. One of the things that was going on with this is that Utah is trying to change up what medications they use, which is real dicey. But let me just tell you what Honey did. He was found guilty of killing his ex-girlfriend's mother and his daughter's grandmother, Claudia Ben, in 1998. And he was sentenced to death the next year. So he is supposed to be put to death at midnight tonight. Yeah, Ronnie Lee Gardner was the last executed by firing squad in 2010, and this is lethal injection. So it's been a long time since Utah has done a lethal injection. They were trying to try a different cocktail of drugs. That didn't really, they decided to pull out and not do it that way, which I think, oh my God, like this is fraught with disaster, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah, it sure seems like it. Yes.
And there's protesters at the prison. I mean, it's just all the same stuff you hear about all of these. But yeah, it's I appreciate that you did bring it up, Kathy, because I read all about it and then I didn't put it on our list. But I'm glad you did, because we should be talking about it. So we shall see what happens. But
yeah, when you true crime a lot, and talk about stuff a lot sometimes, and we discuss things with each other. Sometimes we
Yeah.
forget what we have or haven't brought here.
Yes.
So I always bring things up. Yeah, not a worry at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So we'll see. I do absolutely think they're going to go through with it. Governor Cox has already said that he is not going to intervene. So
hmm Yeah. Oh, you know what we didn't
shall
get
see.
to? The
Hmm.
coin heist.
Oh, how did I not get to this? This was my favorite thing. This was my
I-
favorite thing I found today, and this is funny. So we'll end with this. How did I? Damn it! I'm the one who said I wanted to do this too. If you have been following us a while, you may or may not know. I am a big fan of stupid heists, particularly of stealing rather useless things. Like there was a heist last year of like $250,000 in dimes. What the hell are you going to do with that? Or the guys that stole the gold toilet, just stuff like that. So there is a new one. This is out of Australia. So a man is accused of stealing 63,000 Bluey commemorative coins that are worth around $400,000. So this is in Sydney, Australia. This is Bluey, the kids' cartoon. So these are limited edition, unreleased $1 coins.
Mm-hmm.
He stole them from the back of a truck at a warehouse on June 23rd.
Yeah.
So they were produced by the Australian Mint. They are actual real currency
Mm-hmm.
And are worth somewhere, well, they're worth around $600,000 AUD, 393,000 US.
Whew.
And they were first reported July 12th. So they were missing from June 23rd to July 12th before anyone even knew they were missing. Not good. They look like a $1 Australian coin, except that they have images of Bluey on them.
Mm-hmm.
He was arrested at home. Apparently he worked there. Not a genius plan. Listen to this, though. This kills me. Australia apparently names their detective teams. So get this. On Monday, July 12th, police received a report that a large amount of currency had been stolen from a warehouse in Weatherhill Park. Per the release, Strike Force detectives, with assistance from Raptor Squad, executed a search warrant on a home in Westmead. I mean, really? Strike Force? Raptor Squad?
Where's
I don't
the
understand.
Kangaroo Club or? Come on.
Yeah, it's all violent stuff, but that part was really, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
He apparently sold the coins online shortly after he stole them.
Mm-hmm.
They believe for 10 times the actual value. So for like collector people.
Wow.
Now they have found at another residence 189 of them. And they think that there may be other accomplices in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's currently charged with 3 counts of break and enter with the intent to commit a serious indictable offense. So, I mean, what? I don't know. It's super dumb because, yeah, if you unload them, it's very obvious what they are. They're uncirculated, so they probably have a serial number or something on them that they will immediately be able to be identified. So anybody that's got them, they're stolen, Anyway, I just thought it was really funny.
That is the rabbit ruse.
Fooey, he's going to jail over Bluey. Yeah. But Strike Force and Raptor Squad are on the case.
Well, Bethy said we need the rabbit ruse.
Apparently, I don't know. I just thought that was hilarious and also a very dumb heist.
Right, super dumb heist. Yes.
That's right up there with the Kit Kat bars.
Yes, yeah. Right,
Right,
Paula said
adults
once
ruining-
again, adults ruining collecting for kids, right?
Most definitely.
This is like the Beanie
Yeah.
Babies all over again. Not really. but
Yes,
maybe
it
a
kind
little.
of is. Only slightly dumber. Only way more. It's way more trouble because this is actual legal tender currency.
Right,
So that's
currency.
like, I don't know what they call it there, but here it would be federal, a federal,
Mhm.
federal crime, stealing currency. Very dumb. Just
Yeah.
like those dummies that stole the dimes.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't even know Bluey. That's funny. Gotta love Bluey. Oh, my coins. If you know, you know. Okay.
Oh,
I didn't know, but I think it is rather hilarious.
but wow.
So,
The crock
there you go.
shot team. Yeah, we could have crocs
crock
of some
shot.
sort.
Right?
How many things?
I don't know. I will say that naming detective forces in the U.S. has gotten to be nothing but problematic because
Oh,
then they think
boy.
that they're mavericks that can do whatever they want. So,
Oh,
anyway,
thinking about that group in Memphis. Whew. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. So, might not be the best plan, but whatever.
maybe it works
His
there.
plan went
Maybe it does.
kablooey. Yeah, his plan did go kablooey.
Good job.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, that is everything that we have for you.
Mhm.
We will be back tomorrow on Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain with another live with who even knows? A lot of stuff, I'm going to imagine. I don't even know what that episode's going to be about, but we're going to find some shit because we always do.
Oh, we got a list. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. There's always something else we haven't covered yet.
Yeah.
But as always, thank you so much for joining us. Whether you are here with us live, whether you're here after the fact, we appreciate all of you being with us. And you know it, we are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.